So today I'm here with President of American Enterprise Institute and author of The Conservative Heart, Arthur Brooks. And what I wanted to ask you is, tell me about Conservative Heart, why you wrote the book, and why you think the concepts in it are important for conservatives.
Thanks. I appreciate it, and it's great to be with you. You know, I'm not native to the conservative movement. I'm not an activist. I come from a kind of a liberal background, as a matter of fact, and I got into it much, much later because I was studying poverty. I'm an economist, and I was studying poverty, and I found that conservative ideas are the best way to pull people out of poverty, but nobody knew that. You know, people are not convinced of that. They've never heard that before. I thought, how is it possible when we have so many conservative activists and conservative politicians and policy organizations that people don't realize that it's free enterprise that's pulled billions of people out of poverty around the world and drawn all the immigrants to the United States and given us all the best life here at home? How is it possible? And I started listening to people and realizing that conservatives just don't talk right. They talk as if ordinary citizens cared about economic efficiency. They talk about, they make economic arguments about the best system for creating billionaires, and it just didn't relate to people at all. I said, you know, that's too much conservative head. We need more conservative heart to say what's really important to us, to talk about the morals and the values and the principles of giving more people a better life, to use our principles as our conservative principles not as a weapon against the liberals, but as a gift to pull more people out of poverty and to show people really what we're made of. That's the conservative heart.
And during your speech, you spoke at the event, we're at the Defending the American Dream Summit. You spoke a little about that, and you spoke about treating people as assets rather than managing them as liabilities. Can you explain that a little?
One of the big mistakes we've made in this country is we've taken poor people and sort of out of the goodness of our collective heart, we've tried to help them more. And that had an unintended consequence of making them less necessary. See, it's good to help people, I'm all about that, but when you help people exclusively, they become less needed, and they become more like liabilities to manage, and people should never be liabilities to manage. People are humans, are assets to develop, and I don't mean that in just an economic sense, I mean that in the profound moral sense. I believe that people from conception until natural death, these are the great assets of our society, the great assets of our culture, and we need to develop them as such and to see them as needed. In my view, to be a conservative is to see all people as needed, necessary, not superfluous, and as great assets. And if we do that, then we can change the American heart.
And I know you have to run, but I'll be one more question.
Yeah.
You've traveled all over the world.
Yeah.
And you've seen, horrifying poverty, how people have lived, but you've also seen, how capitalism has helped them, or different economic sort of ideology has helped them. What is the best transition that you've seen from when you saw abject poverty and then something changed and was much better off and the people were much happier and more prosperous for themselves?
I've been very fortunate to travel a lot, all throughout my adult life. And, I had a profound experience when I was 19. I was making my living as a musician, and I got marooned for a few days in a city in southern India. And this is in the early 1980s. And it was terrible. I was walking through a slum for a couple of days. I saw children who were starving to death and lepers. I saw unimaginable poverty by my lower middle class existence that I had grown up in. And I thought, it's like nothing can be done. Well, I've traveled to India a lot, and now when I go, 30-some years later, it's better. It's actually better. When I go to India today, I see people who are not entrenched in permanent poverty. I see more entrepreneurship, and the reason is simple. When I went there when I was 19, it was a socialist country. It was bound up with Indira Gandhi's terrible policies, and today, India is becoming a capitalist country, and that capitalism is not just making billionaires. Who cares about that? India is becoming not poor, almost while you can watch it happening. And capitalism is the reason, God bless that system, because those people need it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you stopping to talk with us, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.